I started this styrofoam drawing during the afternoon, primarily around 2 p.m. During a time in which I was still thinking about how to find a solution to the shades problem. To try and resolve the issue of having shades creating a color different from the bright red backdrop, effectively making something I couldn't remove, since Camtasia 2019 it doesn't really allow you to apply two remove a color effects to the same media asset within a project. That's primarily what I was working on. I found a tutorial on YouTube about a workaround for an uneven green screen or backdrop, and how to make it so that you can fully remove it. Basically, it required me opening a new Camtasia project temporarily, so that I could isolate just the media. In this case, it was what I initially thought was 3. Medicam recorded Dan Hamming. Files, but it ended up being 4. That is, as I discovered while checking while working on the initial 3, the workaround. Once the selected media was isolated, I would add it in, expand a square annotation that was the same color as the original background behind the media. Do remove a color on the dark red section created by the shades, which I don't really think is possible to do without some collateral damage. In this case, it involves what I believe is called some artifacting around the shade's frames and Dan Hamming's hair primarily. That results in some artifacting around those areas. It also resulted in some artifacting around his tongue, since that's a darker shade of red in a way. Excuse me. I was able to get that workaround that I was told about through a YouTube video off the mobile app. So the platform which I'm still not able to see dislikes, but I am able to see dislikes on desktop. But not on mobile. And then I realized that it looked like with the workaround made media files replacing the original Bandicam recorded files, it looked like one of the lens of the shades were broken. At first I went back into one of the a temporary new Camtasia project to revisit one of those Bandicam files. Yeah, these are the notes I took as part of implementing the workaround. This was something I did another day. It's currently 8:47 p.m. Initially, I thought about making the remove a color partially transparent, but apparently you can't do that with the remove a color effect. So then I thought about making the square or rectangle annotation partially transparent to see if that would create the effect, but that didn't. So then I decided to go back into the 99th Dan Hamming episode project file for Camtasia 2019 and make a partially transparent, but only mildly transparent, I would say, not very transparent, black oval annotation. And that seemed to do the trick. I had a salad just like this one. The smaller one at 11 in the morning. The bigger one was around 3:30 p.m. if I recall correctly. My dad talked about chicken salad and corn. I thought he was going to put chicken and corn in the salad, so this is a pretty nice surprise. After work, Dad went to Salvatore's to get me a meatball sub from Salvatore's with black olives, provolone, and I believe banana peppers. I think he mentioned mushrooms for tomorrow. When he got home, he gave me this, which was maybe an hour or two ago, and I finished the whole thing. It was a pretty good treat. And this was a pretty good chicken French meal with some corn. I had about 3 cups of coffee from maybe 8 in the morning to 10 in the morning, I would say. What's hindering me most currently in regards to styrofoam drawing, I feel I picked the wrong shape for the styrofoam project I started, but I felt this shape would do better, but this is the last one I have of that exact shape. I got the character idea from the, as it turns out, 1976 movie Logan's Run, which I heard about through Sci-Fi Recapped. One of those YouTubers or YouTube channels that talk about that overview movies. I believe Cinema Summary is the original of that sort of idea. one of the most popular of those channels with at least 1 million subscribers, and does how to survive videos on those movies scenarios. So in a way it's more transformative. I think around 5 to 6 p.m. I at last decided to continue the Ruffman gameplay series, with me deciding to play the original Dog Pound game, since it's another staple, and I'm kind of hoping to spread the series out. Basically, Ruffman games that are quite similar. In roughly 4 hours, I got 10 views that averaged 1.5 minutes. A pretty good performance. And I figured it was the least I could do, considering how repetitive the last 2 of my dinners I uploaded on my YouTube channel were. For days 1973 and 1974. On November 29 and November 30, Dad decided to make the same dinners, making for essentially 2 days of the same meal, but they were different days nonetheless in their own ways. Recently, Oh, that's a tomato. I was wondering what that was. I guess the Southwestern ranch dressing made it look like some kind of mushroom or Brussels sprout to me. Or at least a mushroom different from what Dad has been using in these salads. For some reason, I'm kind of turned off by the peppers. Maybe it's the stems, or maybe the prospect of how much juice are in these peppers. Hopefully, this next build of the 99 Dan Hamming episode won't be too laggy in some parts with all the different layers some parts are going to have with the latest changes I'm making in order to resolve the shades problem. A plain Dog Pound. As I was uploading the gameplay to YouTube, it led to me remembering about some memories in high school, such as going to masterminds, and then a bit later, that brief time I joined the high school newspaper. I think I wrote one article for the paper in total. I believe I had a second article in the works, but I never finished it. At least that's what I recall. I really enjoy these croutons. I have memories of eating a whole bag of these croutons straight. They certainly make for a much healthier snack than that big, I think the packaging said 2-pound bag of tortilla chips I found in the cupboard. But I didn't touch that. A bag of tortilla chips. I remember a phone call in the afternoon. I think it was evening, actually, by that point. Or late afternoon. Around 4 p.m. in which I ended up expressing my desires for a salad with cucumbers and black olives, essentially, which resulted in Dad bringing up the suggestion of a hard-boiled egg. Which I also like in a salad, along with croutons, and plenty of healthy greens. I believe this is lettuce. It's quite enjoyable. Also, I believe Mom called me during that late afternoon, early evening period. It's currently 9:17 p.m. She did this in response to me calling her much earlier in the day, or attempting to. It was initially planned that Dad would take me back to her place tonight, but that ended up not happening. I heard about the Supreme Court currently going over arguments a case involving Mississippi's ban on abortions after 15 weeks, and I'm hoping that the Supreme Court declares that abortion ban unconstitutional. I'll be checking every now and then to keep myself up to date. Apparently, something was said about there being high winds. Mom said something about that. I assume those high winds are either tonight, right now, well, but I've got the door shut for the time being. Maybe I could open it up in order to make the spare room much cooler. I could do something like that. I also hear that potentially I've got a thought that maybe the high winds could also be tomorrow, and maybe that's what Mom meant. And not necessarily tonight. I feel maybe I should research these next before anything else.